The emergency klaxon screamed through the Galactic Council chambers, a sound that hadn't been heard in 300 cycles. Ambassador Threx'vol of the Kandorian hegemony slammed all 6 of his manipulator appendages on the conference table, his 3 eyes wide with what could only be described as pure terror. "Which one of you idiots told the humans no?" He bellowed. Silence. The kind of silence that fills a room right before someone gets vaporized. "Well?" Threx'vol's voice cracked. "Someone better start talking, or I swear by the 7 suns, I will personally space every single one of you." High Counselor Vera of the Mytharian Collective raised one slender digit, her bioluminescent skin flickering nervously. It was just a minor trade dispute. The human diplomat, Webb, requested access to the frontier mining operations near the Kelger Nebula. We simply informed him that the sector was closed to all species classified below Tier 2 technological advancement. "You what?" Threx'vol's mandibles clicked in rapid succession, a sign of extreme agitation that made several junior diplomats scoot their chairs back. "It was standard protocol," Vera protested, her voice rising. "The regulations clearly state." "I don't care if the regulations were carved into the first stone by the ancient ones themselves." Threx'vol interrupted. "You never, and I mean never, tell a human no without offering at least 17 alternative solutions, 3 apologies, and a gift basket." Military Commander Zorn, a towering figure from the Brutic Empire, let out a sound that might have been a laugh. "You are overreacting, Ambassador. What could one primitive species possibly do? Their fleet is barely capable of faster than light travel. Their weapons are laughably outdated. Their diplomacy is." The communication console erupted with incoming messages. Hundreds of them. Thousands. Zorn stopped talking. The main view screen flickered to life, showing a map of the galaxy. Red dots began appearing. First dozens, then hundreds, then so many that entire sectors turned crimson. "Those are human ships," whispered Junior Analyst Kip, his voice barely audible. That is impossible. Our intelligence reports indicated they had maybe 200 vessels capable of deep space operations." "Count again," Threx'vol said grimly. "I am counting. 7,412. No, wait. 7,420. The number keeps increasing. They're appearing out of nowhere." Vera's skin had gone completely dark, all bioluminescence extinguished. "Where did they get those ships?" "They built them," Threx'vol replied, pulling up a data file that he had hoped he would never need to access. "Do you know what humans do when they are told they cannot have something? They do not negotiate. They do not file appeals. They do not go through proper channels." He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. "They smile, they nod, they say fine, and then they build their own solution. Usually one that is 10 times bigger than what they originally asked for." The view screen shifted, focusing on the human fleet now assembling at the edge of Council space. The ships were bizarre, cobbled together from what appeared to be mining equipment, transport vessels, and civilian craft. They should not have been space-worthy. They definitely should not have been armed. They were very, very armed. "Incoming transmission," announced the communications officer, a small, nervous creature named Pip. "Do not." Threx'vol began, but it was too late. Webb's face filled the screen. He was smiling. Humans smiled when they were happy. They also smiled when they were absolutely furious and planning something catastrophic. This was definitely the second kind of smile. "Hello again, esteemed members of the Galactic Council," Marcus said, his tone cheerful, friendly, and utterly terrifying. "I want to thank you for your response to our trade request. Really, it was very enlightening." "Webb," Vera began, her voice shaking. "Perhaps we were hasty in our assessment. We could arrange a committee to review." "Oh no, please do not trouble yourselves," Marcus interrupted, his smile somehow growing wider. "You were absolutely right. We're just a primitive species. Tier 3 technology at best. Barely worth your time." He leaned closer to the camera. "So we decided to handle it ourselves. Those words. Those terrible, horrible words. Commander Zorn stood abruptly. You dare threaten the Galactic Council? Your fleet is impressive, human, but we have thousands of systems, millions of ships. We are not threatening anyone, Marcus said pleasantly. We are simply going to mine the Kelgar Nebula ourselves. Without permission. Without council oversight. Without any of those pesky safety regulations you all love so much. The temperature in the council chambers dropped by several degrees. Not literally, of course, but the collective dread radiating from every species present could have frozen a small sun. You cannot be serious, Vera whispered, her voice trembling. The Kelgar Nebula is unstable. One miscalculation, one wrong energy signature, and the entire sector could collapse into a gravitational anomaly that would consume 17 inhabited systems. Marcus Webb's smile never wavered. I know, right? Sounds dangerous. But hey, you said we could not have access, so we will just figure out as we go. How hard could it be? Threx'vol made a sound like a dying, star-going supernova. This is insane. You do not have the proper equipment. You do not have the safety protocols. You do not have the centuries of research we have compiled. True, Marcus agreed cheerfully. But we do have determination, duct tape, and about 7,000 very motivated miners who are tired of paying your inflated prices for basic resources. Plus, Jenkins from engineering says he has a really good feeling about his new prototype drill. Sure, it is technically unstable and might accidentally crack open a dimensional rift, but where is the fun without a little risk? A dimensional rift, Zorn roared, his massive frame shaking with rage and fear. You could destroy half the galaxy. Could we? Marcus tilted his head thoughtfully. Huh. Jenkins did mention something about quantum fluctuations. I was not really paying attention during that part of the briefing. Had a sandwich. It was pretty good. Tuna. Pip, the communications officer, made a high-pitched sound of distress. He is joking, right? Please tell me he is joking. Threx'vol's three eyes locked onto Pip. Humans have a concept they call dark humor. They joke about the things that terrify them most. The problem is they also follow through on those jokes just to see what happens. The view screen split, showing multiple feeds. Human ships were already approaching the Kelgar Nebula, moving in formation that could only be described as aggressively casual. Several vessels appeared to be racing each other. One had what looked like decorative flames painted on its hull. Marcus, Threx'vol said, abandoning all diplomatic protocol. What do you actually want? The human's expression shifted slightly. The smile remained, but his eyes grew sharp. What I wanted was simple access to a mining sector for fair trade. What I was given was condescension and bureaucratic nonsense. So now, what I want is for you all to understand something very important about humans. He stood up, and behind him, the bridge of his ship came into view. The crew was not military. They were engineers, miners, scientists, and what appeared to be a cafeteria worker still holding a spatula. They were ordinary people who had been told they were not good enough. When you tell a human no, we do not give up. We do not go away. We get creative. And human creativity, when combined with spite, is the most dangerous force in the universe. Vera found her voice. You would risk galactic catastrophe out of spite? Spite? Marcus laughed, and it was not a pleasant sound. This is not spite. This is problem solving. You had a safe, controlled way to let us access those resources. You chose gatekeeping instead. So fine. We will handle it. Our way. Another alarm blared. Junior Analyst Kip's voice rose in panic. They are activating their mining equipment. Energy readings are spiking. The nebula is reacting. On the view screen, the swirling clouds of the Kelgar Nebula began to pulse with unstable light. The human ships did not retreat. They moved closer. Stop this immediately, Zorn commanded. I am authorizing military intervention. Go ahead, Marcus said calmly. Fire on unarmed mining vessels. That will look great in the historical records. Plus, I should mention, we broadcasted this entire conversation to every independent system, every fringe colony, and every species you have ever classified as below Tier 2. They are all watching. Threx'vol felt something he had not experienced in decades. Respect. Terrible, horrifying respect for a species that had weaponized their own inadequacy. What are your terms? He asked quietly. Marcus sat back down. Fair access to the Kelger Nebula. Reasonable trade agreements. And an apology from High Counselor Vera for that condescending tone she used when she called us primitive. Done. Vera practically shouted. Access granted. Trade agreements approved. I am deeply, sincerely sorry. See? Marcus grinned. That was not so hard. Shutting down mining operations now. Jenkins is disappointed, but he will get over it. The human ships began to withdraw, their energy signatures powering down. The nebula's instability started to decrease. Commander Zorn slumped in his chair. You were bluffing. You would not have actually done it. Marcus Webb's smile became something ancient and knowing. Maybe we were bluffing. Maybe we were not. The beautiful thing about humans, Commander, is that you will never really know until it is too late. We are unpredictable like that. Keeps things interesting. The transmission ended. The council chambers remained silent for a long moment before Threx'vol spoke. I am updating the human interaction protocols. New Rule 1. Whatever they ask for, give them half immediately and negotiate the other half. Rule 2. Never, under any circumstances, say no without alternatives. Rule 3. If a human says fine, evacuate 3 sectors and pray. Pip raised a tentacle hesitantly. Should we be worried they will do this again? Threx'vol looked at the now empty space where thousands of human ships had been. They are humans. They will definitely do this again. We just need to make sure next time we're on their side when they do. And somewhere in human space, Marcus Webb sat back in his chair, looked at his crew, and said the words that would echo through the galaxy for generations. Same time next month? The crew cheered. So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.